call the meeting of the Drainage Board to order with the approval of the April 12th minutes.
Well, we got a full board.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We just approved the minutes.
We have no proposals.
Nope.
Surveyor's report.
We have payment to contractors on the list that you've got there. And I would recommend that we pay those contractors.
Make to pay contractors as outlined.
Second. John Summers is here.
Motion been made and seconded. Accepting. Exhibit A, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And the last thing I have is change of assessments. We have a bunch of new lots in Fernwood and Hills at St. Joe Farm and Pleasant Valley North. And the rest of them are all splits. So I would recommend that we change those assessments. So moved.
Make a motion to approve the change of assessments as presented.
Second.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
The only other item I have is on the Pittman ditch, on the vacation. Marshall County has appointed a board member. Elkhart will appoint their member a week from today, and we need to appoint a board member to serve on that board to have the public hearing to vacate it. And as soon as we get all three members appointed, then we will call for a meeting to set the public hearing date. But that's kind of where we are. So we need a board member from St. Joe County to be represented on the joint board.
Who else is on there, John?
Huh.
Is Marshall and where Elkhart?
Elkhart will appoint one next month.
Marshall.
Yeah. And then Marshall County has appointed Stanley Klotz.
Yeah, I know him.
Okay.
I don't know, I could do that since it's out there with me,
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. It's in your area.
yeah.
Why don't somebody move that we appoint Tom Schlarb as our member?
I'll make that motion if Tom will do it, sir, certainly.
Second.
Motion made, seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried.
And I think, just to follow up on, I think maybe when we have the first meeting of the three, we'll have it down in Wyatt or someplace like
Yeah.
that. Because that's Marshall County's close and Elkhart's close, rather than everybody coming to South Bend and trying to find a parking place.
No, that'll work.
Okay, so that's what I'll work on, as
And,
soon as we get the third member appointed.
yeah, you get with Doug and he can, well, I can schedule it there.
And I also have all of the names and addresses of all the property owners
Yeah.
from both of those counties, plus St. Joe. And we have labels already, so we're ready to go. It's just a matter of getting the board appointed and having the first meeting to set the public hearing date. And as soon as we do that, then we can send the notices out.
Okay,
And I'll let Brandy know what's going on as soon as I find out.
Yeah, we've been in contact about it, off and on.
And that's all I have, sir.
anyone, Eddie? Randy, Josh, anything
Oh.
else?
No.
Nope, nope.
No, nothing. So,
Yeah, I have a question for
One
everybody.
maybe.
We've been doing a lot of work out at Portage Manor, cleaning up the woods, 700 bags worth of stuff. And there's a creek out there that runs from Portage down towards Pinhook. Does anybody know the origin of that creek?
It's just, it's never had a name, and it's never been petitioned to make it a regulated drain or for the drainage board to work on it, or the commissioners prior to that. But it's just a natural gully down through there. It had a dam in it at one time.
Well, yeah, there's two dams in it. There's a spring house, and I found somebody who used to run around there in the 60s, and there was a fresh spring coming from Portage, because that was all Chet Wagner land from the day I was born. And it went through there, and it got high enough that, 12, 14 years ago, it flooded Bolin. So it's definitely a lot of rainwater. I think there's a sewer that comes all the way from north of the airport into there now, but at some point, that was a natural, well, it's pretty big. If you've never been back there, it's a cool spot that we're gonna put bike trails in, but I didn't know if anybody knew the origin of when that was formed by the glaciers a billion years. Well, when you were around, that's it.
Yeah,
Now, is that big enough, like, John, you said that's never been for us to do anything on that?
Yeah, I'm not asking that we do, I'm
Yeah.
just, like, at the end, we're gonna put the new highway garage, there's 150 acres, 33 are in the woods, we're gonna have bike and hiking and maybe zip lines and disc golf and all that, but it's a very unique with a 100-year-old dam farther toward Portage, but then there was another one that was built that the people said, they used to go by at Codden's Dairy, their orange sodas and sit on the dam and put their feet in the water. And it's a pretty, but it's flipped, but it's very unique property, ton of clay in it.
Hey, Derek, the only one I could think of that could possibly know something about that would be like Albert Litzenbarger. I know they used to farm it, and I think they farmed it for years. And Albert's has grown up in that area. He may know some origin of that ditch or what you're asking about, but he's the only one that comes to my mind that might be worth visiting on, just to gain some knowledge of it.
Okay.
Matt Mearsman at the
just
River
FYI,
Basin Commission
so.
might be able to find some information on that. He
Where?
probably doesn't know it off the top of his head, but he'd probably be able to dig it up.
Who's that?
Matt Mearsman, he's the executive director of the St. Joe River Basin Commission.
Okay.
He's interested in that kind of stuff, so he might be able to find something if it was
Yeah.
brought to his attention.
Because when we dug the dumpster worth of crap out of the spring house, the guy said there was a bigger pond right off of Portage, and when we found where the runoff went through the spring house through troughs, where they'd sneak over and take the cream off the milk and all that stuff, so.
Well-
Thanks you.
Anyone else?
A quick question for Mr. McNamara or John Law. Does the fact, or does the new wetlands regulations that the governor just signed, does that give us any reason to try and advance some projects that we haven't in the past because of the complications with wetlands and the core and IDEM? Yeah.
Not really.
Just curious.
Can you hear me, John?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, not really.
Not really? Oh, okay.
That legislation just kind of was, I think, put in there to reduce some of the power of IDEM, Department of Environmental Management. They were kind of overstepping their bounds on some of the wetland rules and actually stepping outside their jurisdiction, so I think the rule tried to pull them back a little bit. But yeah, as far as that goes, there aren't any projects that we're waiting on, excuse me, IDEM approval to do, so, yeah, I don't think it affects us a whole lot.
Okay.
Make, ask for adjournment.
I'll make the motion, we adjourn.
So move.
Motion been seconded to adjourn, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Okay.
Thank you.
Have a great day.